here, my family has been repetitively denied. I understand Travis Bloom is an idiot. I understand that, fully understand that. He holds a good heart.
Fabricating fictitious government you ever seen.
My little brother used to run to Mother and say, "Mom, BB hit me." BB was my sister. He used to say, "BB hit me." Mom would say, "Well, my lovely young man, where are the marks to prove such?" Well, my mom, show me the marks. He could not show any marks. Mother would say, "I can't tell where the marks are." True story.
And the evidence is going to show that law enforcement tampered with evidence to meet their such high burden of proof.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't have cared.
You wouldn't have cared?
No.
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
No.
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
Probably did. Everybody has.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
So that,
Everybody has.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to a late night show. I hope everyone is doing fine and everyone is ready to talk a little bit what happened inside the court with Kelsey Fitz Simmons instead of all the bullshit that happened outside, because what we really should do is stop talking about certain people and they would just fade away. Fade away. And the more we talk about them, the more incidents you will have like you had in front of court. And what you should have been having tonight was kind of a celebratory night for anyone who has been covering the Kelsey Fitz Simmons trial for a while. Kelsey had some of the tough, stupid rules lifted from her probation, so she can now begin to start a new life. She won't have her new life right now. She won't have her baby right now. She will still, there was a bit confusion about the scram, and I'm still a little bit confused about the scram. But overall, she can now go to probate court and try to start seeing her baby again. That was probably the best thing that happened yesterday. That was what we should have been talking about tonight. That's what everyone should have been focusing on. But that's not where the money is. That's not where the clicks is. That's not where the viewers are. Kelsey must have been so relieved yesterday, seeing her start to cry in court. As a father myself, a father who went through a divorce, who have went to family court, who have had ups and downs in my relationship with my kids, and we didn't have anything criminal at all over it, but it's still never ever fun trying to figure out custody battles and how much, how little can you see your kids? Is it supervised? Is it at your house? Is it at a neutral ground? Is it at her house? All of these things are hard enough, but she also have to fight a Commonwealth that is so full of bullshit that they made up a new timeline again yesterday. I jokingly wrote Emily C and said, "Hey, can you make me a timeline?" And she said, "Sure. If you can just send me screenshots." I said, it was a joke because we have 4 or 5 different timelines now. No more scram. Well, I'm not sure that's correct because I tried to read the order and I just can't read what the hell they meant. But I hope she doesn't have to do it. This was a massive step, and now it's baby steps with small victories getting her baby back in her arms. Exactly. And this is what, if we are, hey, let's support Kelsey, this is what you should have focused on. Who the fuck cares about the rest of that? They are just there to get clicks and views. No, we're not on timeline 3. Timeline 1 was they showed up to serve her the RO. Unbeknownst to everyone, Justin shows up at the house. And that's why the Lieutenant Daly had to go down and keep him away. Timeline 2. Justin and his sister is waiting outside of the house. Kelsey loses her mind and says he's not allowed to come into the house. Timeline 3, he's waiting at the police station. We called him over after 10 minutes and he arrived at the same time as the mother, Kelsey's mother. And he was in the basement first floor and ran out of the house. Timeline 4 was what they did yesterday. He was in the house when they walked upstairs with Kelsey and the shots rang out. That was new because he had already arrived when they were upstairs in timeline 3. So timeline 4 is, I don't know. Of course, Emily is the sweetest, and she's taking care of the expert. Do you know how hard that is? The chance to rebuild the horrible break in her relationship with her baby is all that matters. Exactly. And that's what you should be focusing on, the positive story of this. It was the first hat. I'm a man. I don't do color coordinations. I like the judge. So do I. I know a lot of people kind of misunderstands what the judge is there to do. The judge is there to push back on what the defense is saying. He is there because Elsie has to do it in court, and especially if it's something that's wishy-washy, that, yeah, it sounds good, but it doesn't really have any bearing. He is there to take it out before it goes to court, or else he will have to do it in front of a potential jury. And you don't want that either. So I think a lot of people will see judges as super antagonistic, but he's no Noonan, whatever her name is, McCarthy Newman. He does it because it's his job. He doesn't do it because he has some ulterior motive. He has an obligation to try and weed out what cannot come into the court anyway. And the defense that was one of the things I forgot to talk about yesterday. I'm sorry. I know it was partially big wins yesterday, but I'm not my socks are not blown off from Bradel. I have seen way better arguments in Massachusetts courts and in American courts. Maybe it's his style, maybe it's his demeanor, maybe it's just his, but I never feel like, oh, he can just whip it out and slap it on the table and say, see what I said? I'm talking about the law, of course, that he would slap on the table. Come on now. Stop being I know it's late, but we're not that late. But it's the same when he's in court with Aiden. He seems like a really solid lawyer. Yeah, I feel he's a solid, good lawyer, but it's not like there's no razzle-dazzle like there was with AJ. There's no, this guy can talk you to death and be factual on anything he says, like Alessi. I don't know. I don't know. I just feel that je ne sais quoi that really makes you think, oh my fucking God, that was great. I feel like he hits a lot of balls, but not a lot of them goes over the fence. That's a baseball analogy for a home run. Yeah. When you break it down like that, you forget how many stories they just keep changing. Well, it's going to be worse again because there's a new email out there that is also changing everything. In the house, like he was there when they arrived, or they came with cops immediately after. As I understood it from the fourth timeline, he is in the house when they talk to Kelsey to go upstairs. Every other time he has arrived after Kelsey is upstairs. Now he was in the house when they went upstairs. Why would you ever have him in the house with her to begin with? He's not AJ, but I hear you, Baker. Yeah. What's going on in here? Alfie, because my viewership has been going down and I don't want to go and do another drama show. You probably have had nothing other than drama shows all night. I will be going to promote my new OnlyFans channel by showing my nip-naps. That's what's going on tonight. Bradel is not what I would want in court, but he's local connection and is making strides. Yeah, but could someone else have done it and then maybe whack someone across the face and said, hey, you better step up now? Bradel cares about his clients so much. Again, I want a lawyer who will win in court and who will wow me in court. I don't need him to hold my hand. There's like this, the last 5-10% is just because he, and I don't know how he is, but there's also that Courtney thing, and I'm just, I'm just not. I'm just saying he would have to buy me a movie ticket as well before he gets to second base. That's just all I'm saying. AJ or Alessi or Yannetti, they could get to second base by just being in court. I think he would have to buy me popcorns and Tim Tams before he gets to second base. The nip-naps might be coming out. Don't think anyone wants to see my sorry nip-naps. Esma, you will be the only one. Well, nip-nap. There are two of them. Yes, we cannot see you at all. YouTube have that stupid things where sometimes they'll just not upload it. Even though you hit send on it, you don't see it in chat. Mother had some criticism for Bradel as well, just so you know you're not alone. I appreciate that because, but also it's how you see things. It's how, what I want in a lawyer. You might think he is the absolutely greatest man on the planet, that AJ is way too much razzle-dazzle, or Alessi is way too technical. It's a personal observation I have made. This is just my channel. I have the microphone, so I can say whatever I want. Bradel seemed oddly friendly with the prosecutor today as well. I know they have to work together often, but I wasn't impressed, especially in a case where there is so much shenanigans going on. I am not impressed by that either. Oh, you are still here, Darth Vader. I just don't pay attention to you. Like in interviews after court, he and Kelsey both said they were holding back stuff. They said that in the courtroom as well, that there's more out there. They must know something about Justin's internal records with the fire department for disciplinary action, or else they wouldn't. There was something in the wording that kind of did the fluffy stuff to the brain, and I'm thinking they must know something, but we won't get it in criminal, but he will get slapped in the face with something in probate, and I am here for it. Well, my nip-naps wear tap shoes. Okay. Yeah, you know, I don't see you. I think the less glad in a lawyer in this case is better. Bradel seems to be steady and smart. Slow and steady wins the race. Yeah, but also sometimes you can't be too slow and you can't be too steady. Sometimes you do need to come in and make a haymaker. We have, this is a great remark, Cynthia. Kelsey already has a great dad. She doesn't need fatherly, warm and fuzzy from her attorney. She needs someone to fight and fight hard for her. Yes, but that's not Bradel's style. I think Bradel is good for her. I think Bradel and her have a great relationship. But I'm just putting the full package together and seeing Aiden and her. I know both of them love him or are very happy they have him. But I don't think it's a bad thing that Better Road joined Aiden's team. Let's just say it. Or Linda Barton joined Aiden's team. I think, especially in cases like Aiden, you need someone who will go in and say, well, Judge, what the are you on about? So, yeah. Just so happy for Kelsey. Hopefully we'll head it upwards with her. Exactly. But that was it was just a thing that I was kind of noticing and thinking, I wish he just had that little bit. And I don't know, that whole thing about his paralegal and Aiden and all of that, I'm just But again, we almost always see the same defense attorneys in my courtroom. And some of them I love because they are really, really precise. We don't have a lot of the show theater you have in American courts. And they will not just talk to talk. They'll talk and, okay, when this lawyer starts talking, there's something there you have to listen to. Others are just yabbity, 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 yabbity. So they have different styles as well. And I prefer a Better Row, a little more sass, a little more snazz. He was a little sassy yesterday, but yeah, he got his win. I am not disparaging that. I'm just saying I could use a little more fire. Bradley is not smooth and fluid while making arguments, but again, locals and know some of the players. Yes. Sure. I like Bradley. He's a chess player. I think it's easy for an out-of-state attorney to be a little more adversarial as well. Could be, yes. I thought it was the other paralegal that caused all the crap. No, Courtney was part of it as well. He needs a little jerk to him, like that kind of my shit don't stink attitude. Yeah. Don't you give her a big head? Well, we're not here to shit on him. It's just an observation that I would just like a little bit more fire. But again, he got results, so I'm probably wrong. He's doing great. Now I'm gonna have 47 shows. Oh, he hates Kelsey and Bradel. But overall, he got what Kelsey most likely wanted. Getting Justin's drug abuse in would have been a long shot anyway. That's for probate court. You can potentially open the door with it, asking him, "Are you impaired today?" But they don't want Justin. Neither side wants Justin to make too much noise in this case. They want all of it in probate court, is how I see it. Martha Coakley isn't a doormat either. Kelsey has fighters. Yeah, but we haven't really seen much of her in court. But hey, on a scale, I would put him at a 7.5, which is way better than. I don't like Gubertosi. What happened to that skeletal woman? Is that a euphemism? I enjoyed hearing all about it, even though it won't come in. Yeah, but it will come in family court, and we will cover it on YouTube, which we shouldn't do. Because everyone's favorite commentator, Kelsey Fitz Simmons, appears in court for last hearing before trial. Robert Goldston reports on the hearing. I explain how social media may be putting Fitzsimmons' right to a fair trial in jeopardy. Of course you are. Sue, oh Sue. Sue, I am a feminist. Sue, I believes all women. Sue, I haven't covered shit of this because I have been way too busy to cover national politics because I don't like the president. Where are your deep dives, Sue O'Connell? How come a fat old Dutchman in Denmark probably knows more about this case than your lazy ass does? During the Karen Read, you did fuck all. I know people started loving Sue during the Karen Read because, oh, she's talking our language. You did fuck all. I'm a commentator. I'm not a journalist. Well, maybe put on your journalism pants and drive to Essex County and find out what the hell is going on out there. You are sitting every single day and talking about how Trump is corrupt and how Trump doesn't do shit. Why are you not talking about how your own state in 2 different DA districts have such bad rulings, how they really hate, apparently, women? That's not a problem, but fuck Trump. Is that really the most important, Sue, when you're fighting for women, talking about the homo straight? Why haven't you been boots on ground? Why haven't you done what I can't do? Because I can't go to Essex. I can't sit in North Andover and say, hey, you know that alien family? Do you have any stories about them at the fire department? I can't do that. You know who could do that, Sue, and make sure she got a fair trial, that she wasn't railroaded like Karen Read was, until social media started talking, oh, dangerous social media. You hacks in the mainstream media don't give a shit about any of this. You jumped on it and became pro Karen Read when you could see the way the wind was blowing. You did nothing other than show up to court and talk about how you are a real journalism, because Aidan Carney is not a real journalism. Why don't you do a little bit of work? Why don't you sit down and read the court documents? I bet I could knock on your door right now and I could ask you 10 questions you don't know shit about, and then you want to tell people that social media is the reason why Kelsey Fitz Simmons can't get a fair trial. Fuck off with that ancient mainstream media attitude that, oh, online is so bad. They don't follow journalism. Who gives a fuck, Sue? Without people like us, without people like Massa, who is an online influencer, social media guy. No one would have known about this case. Because you in the media, you don't give a fuck till we make it a story. You don't know two things about this case. I would bet you. I could run rings around you in my third language, and I'm not a journalism. I'm a fucking baker. And you're sitting here and talking about how social media is going to hurt her case. Maybe if you could just, instead of having something up your butt about Trump every day, and I don't give a crap about Trump because it's not my problem. But that's all you do. You have a state that have you had an election and wanted a state audit. They still haven't got that. Not a problem. Talk about Trump. You have the Karen Reed case where the Norfolk DA's office clearly made something very, very suspicious. And you didn't give a fuck till Aiden made it a story. You have Sandra Birchmore, who they still believe was a self-deletion. Let's talk about how tariffs involve something with people who doesn't have a passport. And now we have Kelsey Fitz Simmons, where you can sit and argue, well, the law is overly broad because she will think. That's why I saw Massa had a poll where 75% said, oh, we want a bench trial. Have you read the statute? You want a jury because you have to look beyond the law in this case. Because in Massachusetts, we write law so everyone is fucking guilty. If you read the statute Kelsey is charged with, she's guilty. Because any brandishing of a firearm in front of an officer is an attempted aggravated assault. That's why you want a jury who can say, yes, but. Two, why don't you talk about how they make the laws in Massachusetts? Is it because you're really friendly with the lawmakers in Massachusetts? Fuck off. Fuck off. We are hurting her case. Massa has been the dynamo behind $100,000 extra to fight for. That's $100,000 that she doesn't take out of her own savings. So she has a little less to worry about fighting all of these battles. Social media bad. I don't know if everyone saw when she was fighting against some online mess. I can't remember what the name was. She had these online newspapers she was fighting every day. They don't follow the standards. I don't follow the standards because I don't say I am a journalism. I watch stuff. I have my opinion. People watch me or they don't. But they have to watch me because I went to journalism school. Well, then make it entertaining and not just being a sad, pathetic clown. Does Sue NBC knows how to weld by any chance? I could make a joke, but then she would just accuse me of, because she's really fond. I think it was Clara who criticized her of something once, and she instantly went to the, oh, you are against my sexuality. No, nothing in it had anything to do with your sexuality, but you really want to pull that card when it's problems. Sue is useless. If she hadn't been run over by free Karen Reed, she would never have been neutral. Exactly. No, she was immediately removed from the... No, that's not that. Aiden is so much better at journalizing. Yeah. Am I ever coming to Massachusetts? Yeah, I'll be coming to that Wilbur show that was in November last year, November, December, January, February. Maybe someday if anything lines up. I wanted to come for the Wilbur show that never was. Massa is amazeballs. It's what we call blinders. Yes, he has blinders on. Hey, Dave, how are you doing? Mildly pretty. Get it all out, Baker. You are the best when fired up. Well, I'm just getting aggravated because she's constantly sitting there and playing holier than thou and talking about how smart she is and how as soon as she gets criticism, she does that nasty little trick where you then pull out your tatas and your vagine and say, I'm a woman, you cannot criticize me. And by the way, do you know I like snatch? So you can't, I'm a protected group. No, you go into this battlefield, you take the punches you get. That's how it is. I like snatch too, I think. I've never tried it. But that doesn't protect me. But she will play that card as soon as she gets any criticism. She will play I'm a real journalist, you know. Or, do you know I'm one of the LGBTQIP people? I don't give a fuck. I'm not talking about who you're sleeping with. I'm talking about how bad your reporting is. Sorry. I'm sorry. We want a jury, no bench trial. I saw the poll on Massa. 75% think a bench trial would be good. Feelings. I got feelings. Thank you, Jesper. Har set min nye trøje. Ja, er den ikke fin? Jo, den er rød. It's from a Danish movie where a guy comes in and says, have you seen my new shirt? Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's red. And they say it in a very farmer way. I don't think about it. Anyone that still thinks that Sandra Burns will self-delete seriously needs to get the head examined. That's the official position from the Norfolk DA's office. Why isn't this fighter for feminism out there trying to shed some light on that case? Let's keep it on the social media, and then I can have a cow later because, do you know, I actually teach journalisms. Hey, Kathleen. They say that they're going to do another Wilbur show soon. I have heard the same song since October, I think. It's just around the corner. I will be there the day I'll be there, but I thought I would have been there already because that was the rumor that the Wilbur show would have been on. But I would love to come to Boston at some point. I'm worried the judge is just playing nice, so I'm not convinced that bench trial would be better. Again, go read the statute. You need someone to combat the way the bad law is written. And not to be sexist or anything, but Kelsey Fitz Simmons is a pretty lady. Objectively, she's pretty. If she's mildly pretty or she's more than mildly pretty, but she is a pretty lady. Now you have this story where you tell a story about how this pretty lady was robbed of her 4-month-old baby after battling a severe postpartum depression. And because of that, she does something that you're not allowed to do. That, my friends, is jury gold. That's what you want to put in front of a jury, especially when the law is written so badly as it is in Massachusetts. Imagine looking down from the jury box on Kelsey Fitz Simmons, who, again, she doesn't look like she smoked crack within the last 5 minutes. She doesn't look like she slept in a dumpster. And you can envision her with that 4-month-old being ripped out of her arms. It'll be a really hard time for a jury to find someone like that guilty. Is that fair? No, but that's the truth. What are the June dates? 3, 4, 5. 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in the first week of June. Yeah, we'll kick your wife out of the... Your wife can sleep on the couch. We're going to have fun. The NDAO need to be investigating the death of the officer John O'Keefe. He deserves justice. As I've said a million times, there will never be justice because they intentionally made sure that he will never get justice by the way they investigated in the first place. Hey, Laurie Phillips. He's pretty with big old eyes. Everybody likes that. Plus the mom card. Baker, when you're right, you're right. It hardly ever, but yes. 3, 5. 3 to 5. Thank you. Melanie Little favors a bench trial as well. I'm not a lawyer. I just know that I would favor a bench trial where I had a murky case and a shitty defendant. And I would favor a jury case. But juries are always, it's throwing the dice. But I think when I read the statute, I would not go in front of a judge alone with it. But that's just me. I am pretty and smart. Thank you, Mary. Or May. Sorry. Yes, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday will be the arrival meetup at Arcade. Thursday is the full day in Dollywood, and Friday is the meetup and the live show. Yeah, and then put it in front of a jury. Show that to the jury. That's the last time you saw your baby. Correct? Even the men will cry on the jury. Oh, thank you, Laurel. But again, it's a preference. It's a preference. I only do jury trials, of course. So hey, I know but I do jury trials. I've been doing it for 16 years now. So I have more hope in the jury system than I probably should, because again, I'm pretty good at being a juror. I'm pretty good at noting what to look at and what not to look at. You don't have the same system in America, sadly. If the judge was credible, I would agree a bench trial would be better. After hearing that jurors, after Karen's first trial, their interpretation of the evidence scared the shit out of me. Yes, that's always a problem. That's that you have to be mindful of. But hey, it's a crapshoot. But again, if you have a case that's a little bit on the edge of the law, she's just good. I'm sorry, but the world loves pretty people. Well, not the world, because it seems like the women at the police station don't like her too much. I don't know. Karen's trial was long as well, though. 6 to 8 weeks. Well, I've been doing jury duty. I haven't. I'll save myself for you, Kesima. Yeah, and that's my problem. That people might forget that on the law alone, it's very hard not to get guilty. Very hard. But yeah. But this is a lay-in town, so we don't know the balance. I'm just going with whatever the team picks and hope for the best. We don't know anything about how the feeling is on the ground. That's why he said, hey, bench trials are not off the board yet. If he feels, no, we can sway the judge, go for the fucking bench trial. It'll be a one-day trial, bim, 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 and the judge will most likely do her. If she's found guilty, the result will be the same, most likely. Time served, boom, you're out of here. Because she would have gotten probation to begin with. Now, it's going to be a little bit different with the trial coming up, but again, I don't even know if the Commonwealth made a decent plea deal if she wouldn't take it. I don't know. I think that has to do with how it would work with the probate court and what it has to do with her potential of getting her baby back. And I know the baby's name, but I don't want to use it just if anyone thinks, why are you keeping... He sounds like Justin, that baby. I do it out of respect for a minor. It's not because I'm a dad who is a shithole and doesn't ever talk about his baby with its name or call it my baby. But if it would be okay to take a misdemeanor or whatever she could get a plea deal on into probate court, I'm pretty sure that they could probably make a deal. But again, the Commonwealth seems like idiots. I think she needs to say her story to find herself peace. She can come on my show and tell her story. You don't need to waste $50,000 to say it in a courtroom. That's the thing. That's not unusual, especially if Kelsey didn't look the other way if they are doing things they shouldn't have been doing. I missed something, I'm sure. My daughter got a jury summons the other day. She's so ecstatic she was asked to show up in April. Well, hope she gets a good trial and not just some, no, Your Honor, I didn't drive the car that day. I've heard that before. Women are jealous of her and anxious to stick it to her, in my opinion. Giggity. Talking about sticking it to her. Our favorite lieutenant, Royd Jaw. Kelly Barhyde, July 29th, 2025 at 4:44 p.m. That's a month after Kelsey was shot. To Sergeant Robert Nelson, Sergeant Jeff Barrier, Sergeant Dave Goguen. Assigned training departmental items. Sergeants, there is a MPI training August 19th, 2021, which is going to be a little bit hard to reach. So they have to go back 4 years in time. For supervisor liability that I'm assigning each of you to, please register and let me know that you have signed up for the course. I leave it up to you all if you want overtime or in lieu of shift. Just let Sergeant Goguen know so he can adjust the schedule. Well, that's nice. Free overtime. I'll take that. Sergeant Barrier and Sergeant Nelson, both of you need to take the supervisor's self-deletion class. You can do it online through MPI or in person. Register for either and let me know dates. Also, same with OT or in lieu of shift. The new DV guidelines 2025 are out. The new books have been placed in each cruiser. Please go over the new changes with your personnel and log training for new DV guidelines. Any questions, please see me. 28 Maple Street is still on the house checklist. The victim violated the order through her lawyer. What? Come on. Charges are pending. The family is also dealing with unknown of the maternal grandparents and wanting to see the baby. This could potentially become an issue, so be aware. The alien family wants to extend their gratitude to all the officers at Stowe Police Department for keeping them safe. They noticed the house checks and officers driving by. So first of all, good thing they got the new DV rules after this happened. Imagine if they had them first. Maybe she wouldn't have had to go through all of this. But also some suicide prevention classes. Oh shit, I can't say suicide. Maybe they should have looked into that as well. The victim is a new change of word. But how did Kelsey, who had been in hospital for 30 days at this time, violate her restraining order through her lawyer? How? Charges are pending. Have we heard anything about charges being filed for breaking her restraining order? No. And the family is so afraid about Kelsey's family doing something. Has there ever been any indication that they want to come and force themselves to see the baby? Remember what Bradel said yesterday about his connections? Clearly, someone is way too well connected to the police department that they can sit here. First of all, we have her first email where she claims that Kelsey shot someone. Now, a month later, while talking about DV, first of all, she has a thank you from the alien family. Which, is it just me or is it a little, when is the next court date? If nothing else happened, what was that? If nothing else happens, the 23rd is when there's paneling the jury. So somewhere after the 23rd, if they don't have to have an emergency hearing. Sorry. But this is a sign something's wrong. First of all, we know Justin wrote Lieutenant Bailey and said, she's going to pew you straight in the face when you go there. She has the killer eye. And we know her mom is talking to Sergeant Royjaw, another believe all women type who doesn't believe Kelsey. Funny. We know she has a personal connection to her and can sit and just text her and say, oh, yeah, we'll look. What is it with all of this bullshit in Massachusetts where you have to know the cops and they'll do whatever you want? Seems a little bit. I would be furious if I was a local Massachusetts taxpayer, because I think it was a little bit of spider web. But it was because it was in front of the camera. It looked like it was really big. And I thought, what the hell's happening? Is something burning behind me? But I think it was a little bit of some cobweb with some dust on it. It looked really massive, and it was like this big. That's what she said. Yeah, but it's not about the size of the boat. It's about how you use the oars. Then why did the judge say, see you Monday? He did? I didn't get that part. Well, maybe the next court date is Monday. What day is it Monday? No, it's only the 16th or something Monday. Monday 8 in Denmark, if it's not the next week, it's next week. We call it Monday 8 days. That means that's the next week. But that would be the 23rd, right? That Monday would be Monday 8 days would be the 23rd. So maybe he said, see you that Monday or see you that Monday. Yes. He was smoking the same stuff that Justin. Yeah. I saw someone talk about the way you, I don't partake, so I don't know anything about it, but the way he smoked it seemed really weird for someone smoking weed. Because you normally, again, in an alternate universe back in the 90s, there might have been someone looking like me who partook in a little bit of El Diablo's Letheros. And I thought there was something about that's how that person who wasn't me but looked like me did it back in the day. This guy looked more like me when I had 2 seconds to smoke a cigarette and just to get some nicotine in me and then go back to work. I thought it was Tuesday, status hearing. Well, whatever comes up, we will try and cover it. It's just because it's in a bowl. I don't know how lungs work on you Yanks. You are weird people. But let me tell you something, brother. The THC will be dispersed to your bloodstream and then go into your head and make you have funny things happening to your head through your lungs. So the longer you can keep it in your lungs, the easier it can transfer into the blood and give you an excitement. So if you don't really get it in and work. That's why you do the and my hands, man. Oh, it's gotten bigger. Oh, it's smaller again. Oh, it's bigger again. So that doesn't really transfer it into your system. That's why you do. That's why you do the. So. Well, I have met you Yanks, and you are weird people. In one of the videos, he was wiping his brow a lot. Looked twitchy to me, but this isn't my area of expertise. I have no idea. I have never partaken because, of course, it's illegal in Denmark. And even if someone who looked like me partook, then they didn't smoke it just weed or whatever it was clean. It would always have been in a tobacco mix to keep it burning, because just smoking it clean, we didn't do that. They didn't do that. They didn't. So it would always have been like joints, or even if it was a bong hit, it would have been in a tobacco mix. Unless it was windy, his lighter was suspicious. Well, I couldn't really see it that clearly. I saw it light up, but I thought if you're smoking the other thing, you use those butane that can keep it going for longer. I don't know. When he was inside, he was looking a bit tweaky. I have no idea. I have no idea. It's so funny when Baker says Yanks because I'm a southerner and call Northeast the Yanks. It's because whenever I'd say it, the White Rabbit wants to beat my ass because she lives south of the Mason-Dixon. She's not a Yank. And expert calls them carpetbaggers. Obviously, he was suffering under all the stress of being a new father. It's a big responsibility. Yeah, and his girlfriend was just, I feel really sad all the time. Can you help me a little bit? She was, women can be really annoying when they just had a baby. Can you help me? My nip-naps is sore. Can you help me change him? I've been up all... Women just don't understand how hard it is to be a new father. So of course he needed a little calm me down, because that's what we all do. I remember when I had my first child, I was looking for the stalk because, again, I'm a virgin, so I don't know how it got in there. And I was thinking, she's been yammering on for 4 hours now. Can she just take it like a man? And then, can we get out of here? I want to have breakfast. Why the hell did we have to go to the hospital at 4:30 in the morning? That's the worst time to go to the hospital. Oh. And she won't be cooking tonight? Women are so lazy. And this is why I'm a world-renowned massage therapist. We should get AI to analyze the videos. I don't know if AI is smart enough to analyze these grainy videos. I didn't realize adults still do acid. Seems Justin does. I never... There's nowhere in any timeline anyone looking like me who has done any of those kinds of drugs. So I don't know anything. Father of the Year. Yeah, he was. He was doing all of this for this ungrateful woman. Good thing his mom could take over. It's called carrying the load. And we men, we do it and we don't say a lot about it, but women just don't understand. It's a good point. If we replace 270 hits with 270 shots of alcohol, it would be clear there was an issue. I think it was 207, not 270. But still, yes. When he said, well, what if it had been a glass of whiskey? If you had him on 207 videos taking a shot of whiskey, you would probably say, and again, he didn't take one drag and, I have to go back to the old ball and chain. No, he was smoking it up. So you should probably replace it with, I don't know, a couple of glasses of whiskey each time. Again, I've never seen that style of puffing. We probably need to go over to Rat House and have them analyze it. It seems like they have more experience with that kind of things than I do. And I would say it's a little more than just having one shot of whiskey. Justin reminds me of every teenage boy who hasn't figured out that the world does not, in fact, revolve around them. Exactly. I used to love the late night, just me and baby time. I didn't like colic time, though. I had a kid who had colic for 3 months, and my wife said, I'm going to bed. You take care of it. And I just walked in our living room. If it was a good night, she would fall asleep around 11:30, 12 o'clock. It was a bad night. I would get to bed at 2 and then have to go up again at 5 and go to work. That was a fun period. I had so much stress that my eyes was closed from eczema. That wasn't healthy, I think. Babies are found in the cabbage patch. No, they come with the stalk. And I still doesn't understand how the stalks get in there. The comments about dropping acid by yourself, comic gold. I don't know. I don't know enough about acid to understand what it does. I know it was something the hippies did to taste colors or something like that. I'd never done it. I'd never done coke, never done speed. Only did the oxys when I had them prescribed. I am vanilla and boring. I'm sorry. I will drink with you till 5 in the morning, and I will probably put you to bed and call you a weak drinker after. But I've never done a line of anything or sniffed Adderall or any of that. I don't know anything about what it does to you. I know the basics of what it does to you, but I never partook in it. Again, still in my 27th year, I can, if you invited me out on the town, I'll stay up to 4 or 5 in the morning drinking constantly, and I'll have a great night. I don't have that. I don't have a need to get extra energy. I just need to drink, and I'm really good at drinking. I'll do a 15, 20, 25 drink evening. I'll be really bad for the next 3 days because I'm getting so old. I'm getting hangovers, but I have never ever had that need to. Oh, I need more energy. Oh, my problem is I have a lot of it to begin with, so I don't need it. Justin does all the drugs, doesn't discriminate, buffet style. Well, we haven't heard anything about coke and meth and stuff like that. So I never did anything. I was in the military in my adulthood. Yeah, again, there's a timeline where someone looking like me might have smoked some devil's lettuce, but that's all. No, but sometimes the stork has to try and see if it still can get in there. The word on the street of Twitter is no one is dropping acid by themselves. Yes, I said we did bongs. They did bongs back in the day, but it would be bongs with a tobacco mix. I didn't realize dispensaries had sales. No, that was so weird that, he went on Tuesdays because he could get joints for lower prices. Yeah. I'm really bad at rocks and no rocks and naming rocks to me. There's green and everything else. Not my thing, doesn't work with ADHD. Exactly. And that's, to me, that's the same. There's weed, there's pot, and then there's all the stuff the guy looking like me never tried. Well, it's so it can keep burning. That you'll use it in your joints and stuff like that. That's another thing. I never learned how to. The guy looking like me never learned how to roll a joint or anything. I just had he just had friends. Well, we heard he smokes weed, drinks shrooms, acid, snorts Adderall. Yeah, but Leah, have you ever tried having a girlfriend? They're really annoying sometimes, so you need a little. Because, hey, you want to go to IKEA? Who hasn't needed acid to go to IKEA? Hey, I really want to paint my room. Who hasn't needed a little Adderall to make it go faster? And then you have, hey, you were so fucking stoned you missed half the room. Then you need a little weed to calm down after. Again, I can put on a great defense for all his drug use. It's women. And he always pay cash for drugs. Apparently, and I'm learning this from my wretched expert, you cannot buy with cash from a dispensary. That's what Masshole Mafia said yesterday. Because remember, Twisted tragedy, and Masshole hates Kelsey Fitz Simmons because she's such a horrible woman. Oh no, she just has the same lawyer as Aiden, so we hate her. That's why. She said you can't buy with money at a dispensary. Sometimes, just sometimes, things will fall off the shelf and you can pay with money if you don't want it on your record. And then the store owner will just put it in his pocket. You don't get a receipt for those purchases, but you can still. I know it's hard to believe, and don't tell anyone, but selling formerly illicit drugs has a lot of the people selling it knew how to sell it back in the day. So you might be able to get it without using an ATM. I'm just saying. No, because I read Marcel. No one knows the law as crusty panties. You know that. You can only buy with cash. You're telling me that crusty panties lied? Let me just take off my surprised face. Oh my. Oh. This would be like hearing that Farrell was a meanie. Hey, little D. MG Raiders coming in at the end. Hey, MG Raiders, and welcome. Am I talking about the back room? Money, I know you're dirty, but we don't talk about that. Even on a night show. Hashtag no pegging. Jealousy of Kelsey has nothing to do with it. Gorgeous, successful, financially independent. Krusty would never lie. And this is why me and Leah are online. We in line. The one where our minds are the same. We know Krusty is always trustworthy. Always trust the trust. Imagine the shock. I would be shockerated. Jude Curio, thank you for 28 months. Talk to me, big guy. I'm talking to you right now. No one is as truthful as the old Cruster herself because, oh my God. It has to look like cash or an ATM withdrawal. That's some sucky cross. In Massachusetts, you cannot use a credit card to buy weed, cash or ATM only. Yeah. Again, we're talking about Krusty having an opinion about someone who is connected, even though only tangentially, I think is the word, to Aiden. So, of course, she's lying her fat ass off. She's not that fat anymore. She's actually lost a lot of weight. So, I'm just saying that, yeah, she's not always right. You're gonna let me wife you up this year, Baker? I no. You have to take me on a date first before you get that far. I just said earlier, at least buy me movie tickets before you get to second base. You could get to second base anyway. I am a slut, but I'd like to pretend that I need movie tickets to get to second base. Hey, yummy, I got baby batter on my tummy. They also keep meticulous records. I'm sure if you know the right people, they don't really give a fuck. How is she so dumb? This is not known. You can't do anything that hits federal banking because it's still illegal. Have you met Krusty? Krusty will tell you any lie as long as it makes her look smarter and somehow goes against anything Aiden says. She's just like that. But what if the movie sucks? Well, then I hope she does too. Bad Baker. I'm confused. Cash sounds like the only way to buy from a dispensary. Any other ways to pay? Well, apparently ATM, but then you just withdraw it from the ATM and pay cash. I don't get that ATM in. We have ATMs in banks, or we don't have them in stores. So I don't get that ATM thing in stores. But again, you cannot use your money to pay for weed because, like Farwell found out, anything that has to do with banks goes into federal. And buying weed, no matter how legal it is in Massachusetts, is illegal in America. It's just the law because it's a federal crime still. That's why it's also a problem with these people who say, well, I can smoke in Massachusetts and then I can drive to the neighboring state the next day. You can still get in a shitload of trouble because it'll be in your system. And they don't care that it was legal to smoke it the day before. You're still breaking the law. Stop breaking the law, asshole. You can use debit. A lot of women do that when I asked. What? Don't talk. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I made such purchases, but I made such purchases. There's someone who looks like Old Line Red who might have been in a dispensary buying stuff at some point. Old Line Red, of course, have never done it. Why the hell didn't my Rumble start up at the same time? Well, I'm sorry, Rumblers today. Annoying when it doesn't do it. It's like gaming. A credit card is borrowing. That's why you cannot use credit card to buy weed in Massachusetts. Interesting. I don't know enough about it. Good night, Jen. Get some sleep. You can use a debit card. Again, I don't live in the States and I don't partake. So, yeah. So it's a little hard for me to understand whatever it is. Oh, debit is an ATM. Well, I have a debit card. A debit card just means that you can't make you can't go above what money you have on it. That's what a debit card means to me. Because I might have had a credit card and might have had a little bit of problems with remembering how much money I had on it, and then I ended up owing the bank a lot of money. So I have one who has a limit on it. That's a debit card in my world. So I don't know what, again, I don't live in America. I don't know what the rules are. Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. It's what it looks like to the banking institution. Debit is cash. Okay, yeah, so you have to have the amount in your account to be able, you cannot have a card that you can pay off later. Okay. Yes, you can typically use a debit card to buy weed in Massachusetts. Credit cards are not. Okay. Well, I'm just confused-rated a lot about some stuff in American. I am very innocent. I know. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can swipe it at the store or whatever. I have a MasterCard and a Visa card, but all of them have a limit. You can't go below 0 on it. So that's that's what I think about with debit cards. So that's just, yeah. Ours run your debit card like an ATM because they are not allowed to charge it as a purchase. You can only use your money. The terms of payment are confusing. Yeah. Your debit card is linked to your checking account. We don't have checks in Denmark anymore. We only have credit cards, or you have your mobile pay or whatever you have. But then if you have what's called a Dan card, which is Danish card, most of them has no limit, so you can overdraw. So it'll go from a debit card into a credit card, and it doesn't tell you, oh, you have now overdrawn. They'll do that when you don't pay it. That's what happened to me. Yeah, really dumb when you're 18 years old to get one of those cards. But the card I have now, I'll just say there's no coverage on the amount of money in your bank account if you go over. I have a mini honey bun donut. I don't like honey buns. They are boring and bland. I'm old school. You used to get it from the guy on the corner. Yeah. If you have to enter a PIN, then it's taken immediately like that. Well, ours have, unless you go over 350 Danish, which would be, I don't know, 70, 80 bucks, you don't have to put your PIN in other than every now and again, you'll have to put your PIN in to just confirm it's your card. So you can, if your card is stolen and they do a lot of smaller purchases, they can get away with it for some time. But if you purchase, I believe it's 350 or maybe 400 Danish. If you buy over that, you will have to put your PIN in. But other than that, you just punch it on the screen. What if people are too old in Denmark and don't know how to use such technology? You can have cash still, but my mom and dad had credit cards. I think most people can figure it out. Yeah, no funds available if you don't have it. Yeah. Credit card is also when you take your finger and swipe someone's butt crack and yell, "Credit card," smell your hand and say, "Denied." Not that I've ever done that or anything. And not that you're going to do that when we kick your wife out on your couch. Oh, you're not offering them to me. Thank you. Thank you. You're eating Whoppers. I haven't had a Whopper in a million years. Yes, you can use your debit, but not credit to buy from a dispensary. Leah is flying in and getting high tonight. Oh my, Miss Divine. Good night. Oh, good evening. Oh, sorry. If you buy the ATM limit at the dispensary, you bought a ton of weed. Back in the 90s, we knew when it was payday. The house 2 doors down got lots of visitors. Yeah. No one knows what anyone walked into. Whopper candy molded milk balls covered in chocolate. Isn't Whopper a burger? But I don't know. I just know that instead of focusing on all the bad stuff that happened yesterday, we should be we should have been focusing on all the good stuff. And just to end the night on a high. Listen, idiots, I've been commenting on the Kelsey Fitz Simmons case with the same take since Carney tried to delicately back out of the whole thing by citing a conflict of interest as if something like that ever existed in his world. Trust me, the real reason is because he's not stupid and knows there is no government corruption in her case. Because all you free Karen retards migrated over to her, she showed up in my feed a lot. If he is going sorry, I don't read retard. If he's going to take up for her, my opinion doesn't change. I will revel in the irony of him advocating for a mom with substance abuse issues who lost custody of her child and pulled out a firearm in the middle of being served a restraining order. I guess bad parenting isn't a red line for him after all. And the only argument seems to be the father is a train wreck too. Okay. Hey, you horrible, horrible. What the hell is... What is this new... She looks like she has a lazy eye. No matter what. Hey, rat racers. I just set it up to rate you. Damn it, Danny. But thank you, rat housers. But now she's sitting here and calling all of you retards because she knows better, you know. She is... Oh, she's looking right into my soul. She's giving me erectile dysfunction just looking at her. The only reason she's against Kelsey Fitz Simmons is because Bradel is his lawyer. Aiden said, I'm not going to cover it because Bradel is her lawyer. It could be a conflict of interest. I probably think he thought, I don't want my trouble to follow over to her side. And now he's starting to cover it, and all these assholes will do whatever they can to smear her. She has a substance abuse problem. Rusty, you degenerate piece of shit. Show me where any evidence of that. Well, she drank in high school. Rusty, you lost 2 of your kids because you wouldn't leave a person who was abusive, if I'm remembering it correctly. You lost your kids because there was substance abuse in the home as well. Am I remembering this correctly? And you're now sitting here taking a slam dunk on a woman who lost her 4-month-old kid because you pulled out a gun, tried to commit suicide. Imagine being a crusty. Imagine being a crusty. I don't know what's wrong in her brain. Well, that's a lot of things. But her sitting here and dunking on the free Karen retards, which doesn't exist anymore. Thank you, Nikki Haircuts. Just shows you how horrible a person she is, because she doesn't give 2 cents about what is up and down in this trial. It has nothing to do with the facts of the case. She couldn't give you 2 facts from the case because she doesn't care. The only facts that matter is Aiden and Bradel. Aiden and Bradel. Great question, Leah. Do you want to be honest with yourself ever? You always have excuses why she lost her babies. Had nothing to do with her. There is 0 evidence she has a problem, unlike 270. I think it was 207, not 270. I might be hearing it wrong. Yeah. He's giving me erectile dysfunction just as I was drinking water and nearly choked to death. Well, some ladies like to be choked a little bit. Bad Baker. Bad Baker. He did say he didn't want to because the troll follows, but so many asked him to help her, so now he does public demand on the guy who did absolutely nothing for Karen Reed. Yeah. I have said this a million times. I really wish someone local could go in and try and dig around because there's something we don't know yet. There's something going on in that town that we can find out. There's something going on with that family, but it needs to be a local who can dig around because I can't do it from Denmark. Me and Lauren had talked about it. She cannot do it from Florida either. And thank you, Dinosaurus Rex Xwire, for becoming a member. Hey, Marian. Hello, Messerschmidt. I read a little like someone else. Kesima, get to bed. See you back tomorrow at 9. Emily said for you to tell her if Dollywood was legit. I think you could talk her into coming, like how I make you chat, make your chat about me. Expert, I will tell her it is too legit to quit, as the kids say on the streets when they're beatboxing and doing their breakdancing. So I will make sure she knows it's too legit to quit because it could be fun hanging out with Emily. With Krusty, hers was such a knockout, it left her looking like a stroke victim with the laziest of eyes, the squirrel chaser. One eye on the hot dog, another on the ball game. That's another way to say it. Yeah. But my 1-hour presentation has now lasted an hour and a half. What a great day yesterday. And everyone, maybe, just maybe, try to starve. I know I give Krusty attention, but she's not the same as the rest because she's a fucking idiot who needs to be told off. But maybe, just maybe, if you are a creator out there, stop giving the people who really, really, really want attention all the attention, because they will show up and do exactly what they did yesterday. Make a 15-year-old, 16-year-old girl cry and try to start a fight so they have some content, because then you will make content on them and they can make content on you making content of them, and then you can, it's the only stick they have. Maybe, just maybe, leave them alone and move on. There was enough beautiful things to talk about with Kelsey yesterday. It didn't have to be about local assholes who has no life, who are low lives, and has nothing else to do than try and stir shit. So let's just try and look at all the good things, cover the trials, cover whatever goes on, try and have fun again. I might have a special guest on Saturday where I will make fun of that person all night long. So, yeah. That's, the more we are giving them attention, the more they will seek attention, and then we will have to... I did it the same, and it's really fucking easy content to just sit and make fun of them, but it'll just make them go harder at it because they can't do it on their own. They are not talented. They are not great creators. So not that I run anyone else's show. I'm not like everyone claims that we are all run by Aiden or whatever. The less attention you pay to these assholes, the faster they will disappear. But I understand it's easy content. Everyone, get your lazy bums to bed. I'll be back at 9 covering the Utah case. Corey Richards will have a day off tomorrow, so you might have time to come watch it with me. Closing arguments in that case Monday. They didn't put on a defense. And yeah. Thank you, Marian. Yeah. They give me the creeps, so I'm fine with not ever seeing them again. I'm just done with him because it just turns in you sit in that negative mindset the entire time and have to sit there and make fun of them and they make fun of you and it'll just escalate. And that's why we all know what happened outside of court. We don't need to sit and relitigate it all night long. That's why I want to take nights in a different direction where we go back to having fun. F-U-N. Because fuck, you need some fun. We don't need all of this constant bickering between 50-year-old men and
Oh my gosh, you guys! There's a class called Basic Grifting. Should we all learn how to be grifters?